Hello everybody and welcome to another Premodern video. Today we're going to be playing one of the sleeper decks in the Premodern format right now, and this is all thanks to the inspiration that I got from my good friend 10 Arms, that is Chris Stoller, who has been championing this deck for quite a bit and working endlessly to take it to the point where it is right now, where I think it may be one of the best decks in the format. So yeah, let's jump right into it. And the deck in question is Green-White Enchantress. This deck is nothing new, but I think that the amount of work that Chris has put into it has definitely paid off very, very handsomely, and I think that the list that he has put together is absolutely fantastic. So if you are interested about digging deep into this deck, I'm going to be linking to this article that you see right there. This is from the Well of Knowledge, the fantastic website that are loving Will Hurst has put together with a bunch of very high quality articles. You can find my blue-white Stifle Knot guide in there, as well as there's another guide for Hermit Feb. And this is Chris's, which is absolutely stellar. He has put a deck list right here that is the list that we're going to be playing in the league, some notes about the deck choices, sideboarding. Then he has a fantastic analysis of the metagame, all backed up with data from tcdex.net. And yeah, he explains his choices. He explains how he wants to be preparing in different matchups. Very, very spectacular article. Highly recommend you check it out, and you will be able to find it in the description of the video down below. But let's take a closer look at the deck list here. We have the engine pieces, which are Argothian Enchantress and Enchantress's Presence. Again, like all of this stuff is very explained very much in depth in Chris's guide, but I'm going to go through it real quick if you don't want to read the entire paper. So we have our engine pieces in Enchantress and Presence. Mirri's Guile is another card that allows us to keep slightly sketchier hands without one of these. So that's why we see the full playset of Mirri's Guile, which I don't think I've seen anybody play before. So that is pretty cool. It also is very nice because it cycles whenever you have an Enchantress in play. For cycling for white mana, it's great. We have some Wild Growth to speed up our mana situation exploration, and the idea is to pillow fort through Elephant Grass, Karmic Justice, and Solitary Confinement, and we can find all of these pieces thanks to Sterling Grove. Once we put all of these together, we're basically making it so our opponent cannot win, and from there we are trying to kill them eventually with Opalescence plus Parallax Wave and Mobilization, which is a very, very interesting addition now that Chris has been trying. I don't think it's sold on it. He also tried Decree of Justice and some other things. All that he says is that Sacred Mesa is not it. So we're going to be trying Mobilization, and this is going to be pretty interesting. One notable thing that Chris discusses is the addition of 3 Swords to Plowshares to the main deck, and he thinks that he has been enjoying this very, very much. The idea is that we want to just not die to a quick Lackey or like a Dreadnought or stuff like that. So usually swords have been relegated exclusively to the sideboard in Enchantress decks in the past. So what he's done is he has, brought some of them to the main deck. I don't think he was the first one to do it, but he was the one that after testing he has been, happy with. He also cut red entirely. Some people are messing around with some mana bases with like Basic Mountain to go with these Wooded Foothills or like CDU Brasses and stuff. And he has a very, very clean green-white mana base, which looks spectacular to me. And I am a big stand for clean mana bases. In the sideboard, we have a bunch of interesting cards, namely Santid Swarm. This is the only non-Argothian Enchantress creature in the entire deck, and this card looks spectacular as a major trump against controlling strategies, like counterspell strategies. This looks fantastic to me. The 4th copy of Elephant Grass and Swords to Plowshares against aggressive strategies, alongside the 3rd copy of Solitary Confinement. Here we have, Seal of Cleansing, Hour of Silences, 1 copy of Ray of Revelation, which I find very interesting. Sacred Ground and Sabos Web are mostly a concession to the Green-Red Oath deck, and then finally a copy of Tormod's Crypt and Enlightened Tutor to round out the 15 cards in the sideboard. The deck looks very, very interesting. It looks extremely polished, and it looks very, very strong. So without further ado, let's jump into a league. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button if you're enjoying the content, and I'll see you for round number 1. Round number 1, let's get this party started. This hand looks fine, I guess. We can go turn 1 Wild Growth, turn 2 Enchantress's Presence. And if my opponent's playing like a Lackey deck or like a Dreadnought deck, we have Swords to Plowshares, which is pretty nice. This hand scoops to Ponza, but our deck scoops to Ponza game 1, so not much to do there. Turn 1 Llanowar Waste. Okay, that's a pretty nice draw. So we are going to have our engine going, which is very nice. Llanowar Waste could be plethora of different things. I guess the only card we are kind of scared of would be Pernicious Deed. Mox Diamond. Being in Wasteland. Mulch. Okay, my opponent's cooking. I'm very much into this. Sabos Web looking to be pretty decent against my opponent's deck. Not a great draw, but we get to resolve our presence here. Next turn we're going to be able to do the same thing again, getting a card in the process. And then we go from there. Also, Mox Diamond probably signals no Pernicious Deed, which is good for me. Opponent cycles Thicket and Barrenmore. So I guess they're pretty desperately looking for some sort of interaction. Sylvan's Safekeeper. Very interesting. Here's a presence. Let's start to draw some cards, shall we? And we're gonna get the basic planes in play here. Guess I'm going to plow now, since my opponent can just sack a land to let the Safekeeper resolve. They just let it go. I think they were F6. I don't think they were expecting a plow there. You can flashback Call of the Herd if they want. Another Safekeeper, you got it. Terravor. Okay. Well, I guess I want to have white open here. Have green open, I mean, so I don't have to play my fetch land. So we draw 2. Elephant Grass is very nice. Draw 2. We get the grass into play, Wild Growth, and the Confinement. Yes, I'm feeling pretty good about my spot here. Yeah, I can afford to take a hit. Wild Growth, draw 2, and ship the turn back. Next turn we're going to start going off. We'd love to find a Serra's Sanctum, because right now our biggest bottleneck is mana, Duress. Okay, so that's going to take the Confinement, but it's not a big deal because I have Sterling Grove, so we can play Sterling Grove, 1 mana to crack it, put Confinement on top. I guess we're going to be 1 mana short of casting it. Maybe. Opponent can't really attack though, like this Elephant Grass is kind of doing work. I think my opponent here is pondering about whether to flashback Cabal Therapy by sacrificing Safekeeper. Honestly, that could be a decent line. So they pay for the Elephant Grass, that's totally fine. I'll take 4. Yeah, they flashback Therapy. They're probably going to take the Sterling Grove, I would assume, so that I cannot go fetch another Confinement. Now, we're still kind of doing it here. Definitely going to pay for this grass. Would love to draw Exploration. Not bad either. So let's start there. Guile, also not bad. And we're going to go to this card. That's so sad. Oh, look at that. Yeah, this game feels pretty much over at this point. I guess I might as well cast the Seal of Cleansing just to blow up the Mox Diamond, just to mess with my opponent's mana. And I guess another Wild Growth on the plains. I don't know whether my opponent actually has some sort of land destruction thing going on. So, oh, look at that. Make just a casual 9 mana. Gonna cast this Mobilization here. Cast the Seal. Guess I might as well make a dude. Okay, my opponent just has had enough. Huh, very interesting brew my opponent's got going on here. So it's like a Terravor deck with Safekeepers, with Mulch and Call of the Herd for value. Interesting. So we're probably going to be facing a healthy amount of naturalized effects. Well, I mean, probably Sabbath's Web is great. This is kind of the only thing I know for sure. I'm not super into Swords to Plowshares, actually, because of what my opponent has going on with the Safekeeper. Also, they don't really seem to have that many creatures. I do like Elephant Grass, however. Forcing my opponent to dunk mana into it seems good. I don't like Seal of Cleansing. Just blowing up Moxen doesn't seem like enough. Sabbath's Web looks good. I have not seen anything that warrants me wanting Sacred Ground. So that's an interesting thought. I probably want the one of Seal, but I don't think I want redundant copies. Karmic Justice seems fine. I guess Tormod's Crypt? Like, they had a bunch of, like, random value, but I don't think... I mean, they can't be in a Gamekeeper deck, so I don't think that as much value as they can get, that's going to be enough to warrant the Tormod's Crypt. If I had Furnace in the deck, I would probably bring it in, but Crypt is just too bad a card. I think I'll go with this. We have to be mindful of stuff like Tranquil Domain and whatnot, but sound looks pretty sexy. Even if we get Duress on 1, we still have some redundant things going on. I'm still gonna Wild Growth on 1 though. Opponent on a Mull to 6. Let's see if they got the Duress on 1. Cabal Therapy. In the blind. Even if they name Wild Growth, we have Mirror's Guile to go with it. So, oh, they name Guile. Interesting. That's a very heads-up play from my opponent there. Now they can flash back and name Enchantress. Wild Growth on the land. And let's see what my opponent's got. Yeah, I'm not vibing on these Swords to Plowshares at all. Rare of Revelation is gonna be a rough one. I'm gonna hold on to this Exploration so that I can use it to cycle later on. Well, I guess never mind. We're gonna need it for mana. I'm gonna hold on to the Sanctum though, because I don't think I'm plowing anything, and I don't want to get owned by a Wasteland. Opponent plays the tapped Barrymore, ships the turn back. Elephant Grass. So Enchantress go. My opponent could have something like Engineered Plague. That would really suck, but I really have to get my engine going. Hypnotic Spectre. That one I don't really care about at all, actually. Just don't care about this card whatsoever. Okay, so now we're gonna start cooking. Let's start with an Elephant Grass, which blanks the Spectre itself. So that's cool. Then play a land, and now we're gonna go for Stelling Grove. Yeah. I guess I plow anyway. So this is kind of weird, right? Because obviously we have the Elephant Grass going on, but I want to get the plow out of my hand, and my opponent can potentially go Ray of Revelation, blow up the Sterling Grove, then naturalize Elephant Grass, and then they can actually achieve something. And so I'm not really using the Source to Plowshares. I had the extra mana. I'm not using the Source to Plowshares for anything else, and it just seems like a fine spot to use it. Also, it prevents my opponent from flashing back Cabal Therapy. So it's kind of awkward to, you know, use the Source to Plowshares there in a spot when I have an Elephant Grass on board, but I think it makes sense. The very interesting question here is whether to pay for the Elephant Grass or not. Because this is actually not free, right? Like you would think, oh yeah, the first pay is free because of Serra Sanctum, but that's not quite the case. Armageddon? Alright. Yeah, that's a way to go about it. Okay, you got it. So I guess that answered the question for us. So that's gonna go away. Now all we have to do is draw a green source. Well, I'm feeling very, very smart about plowing that that Hypnotic Spectre. I was not expecting Armageddon. So they flashback the Ray on the Sterling Grove. That's kind of just fine. Wasteland. That makes Brushland into not a good draw. Well, I guess now it is because of the Guile. So we're just gonna keep passing the turn for a while until we find a green source. Hey, look at that. So get a forest, and I think I'm gonna go for Wild Growth. Maybe should be attacking with the Enchantress for value. Target for my Seal of Cleansing. Good stuff. There's a big boy. So now we can Confinement here. So I think we're just gonna take a hit. We're going to go for Presence. That's very nice. So now we fetch, play Guile, send the turn back. And now we are going to be able to very safely drop a Confinement next turn with Sterling Grove backup, so leaving my opponent in a spot where they need effectively Tranquil Domain or bust. I'm certainly interested in using Seal of Cleansing to blow up the Mox Diamond so that I'm not threatened by another Armageddon. Cartographer. That's kind of amazing, not gonna lie. They should have attacked first though. Barrymore has been picked up. I guess I can just Sabos Web instead of Seal of Cleansing. That seems much better. Locks down the Wasteland. Cabal Therapy. Oh, they're gonna go for Confinement here. Yeah, that's a problem. I had not seen the Therapy in the graveyard. I totally forgot about it. They do name Confinement. We're gonna start drawing 2 cards a turn though. So let's take 10. Sanctum would be game. Elephant Grass is also pretty good. So let's think about this. We need the Seal of Cleansing to blow up the Mox and the Sabos Web to lock down the Wasteland. And at that point, my opponent needs to draw exactly an untapped land. Yeah, that seems reasonable. So let's play a land, cast Seal of Cleansing, draw 2, pay 2 to cast Sabos Web, play Elephant Grass. Oh, replenish. Times 2. Blow up the Mox right now. And if we untap, we win. But if my opponent top decks an untapped land, we lose. Mox Diamond pitching the Barrymore. Very smart of my opponent to not play out the Barrymore there. That was kind of awesome. I was, one turn too late. I was not expecting the Armageddon. That's very good to know. They also have Ray of Revelation. Yeah, I maybe just Source to Plowshares is just not good enough. Sacred Ground makes a lot more sense now. Over the Swords, I guess. Still don't want Seal of Cleansing, but maybe want another Confinement. Web seems great. Elephant Grass seems great. Just have to cut a card. My opponent could have Engineered Plague. They definitely do, actually. So I'm going to keep the single copy of Seal of Cleansing there, just in case. And what can we cut? Don't think I want to cut lands. Can I cut Mobilization and just win through Opal Wave? They have Revelation, so that's a little bit sketchy. I do have Replenish, however, so it's... I'm on the play. Let's just cut a Confinement. Yeah, this looks good. Turn 1 Forest, go. Turn 2 Sacred Ground. Value. We want to dodge Duress. That's cool. We keep drawing our 1 of Seal. Which hasn't been doing that much. That's a very interesting draw. I think I'm going to play that because it's more mana efficient. And I want to play it off the basic forest. So now my opponent's in a spot where if they naturalize Sacred Ground... Okay, yeah, so they end up going for the Presence. But now Armageddon is still Duress. So that's probably going to take the Seal, which will prevent me from going Enchantress into Seal of Cleansing next turn. Would love to draw... Perfect. I was going to say would love to draw 1 mana enchantment. They could have Diabolic Edict, I guess. Could be a little bit annoying. And I guess with the Sacred Ground in play, I feel they could go and step Naturalize into Armageddon, which would suck, but also leaves me in a spot with an Enchantress and nothing else. Yeah, there's the Edict. They should have definitely Edicted with the Elephant Grass on the stack. Here they can do something like Naturalize plus Wasteland, but all of this time, like, my opponent's just not putting a threat in play, which makes things good for me. Paying upkeep for this. Play Sterling Grove. If they have it naturalized, they have to use it right now. Yep. Sheep turn back. Cycle Barrymore. I'm probably not going to be paying for the Elephant Grass upkeep this turn. And I guess I'm going to play the Opalescence. It's just so unlikely my opponent has more removal. The question is whether I want to go get an Enchantress's Presence here. I don't think I do. I can go get one now, but I just get so owned by a Naturalize if I do. I am kind of in a somewhat problematic spot without an engine. Man, this deck is hard to play. Opponent is out there growing their Terravores. Gonna take 4. Yeah, I don't think I can crack this Sterling Grove. I just get destroyed by Naturalize. Cartographer. It's such a complicated spot that I'm in. Okay, that one's pretty good, I think. So now we are cooking, I think. Opponent cycles Barrymore. Lots of Barrymore cycling. I think the line here is block plus sack. Now we're gonna go with Presence. Oh, we can just go get Wave. I totally forgot that we're an Opal Wave deck. Whoops. Yeah, that seems better. Should have probably done that last turn. Diabolic Edict. We still want to get the Wave. 1, 2, 3, 4. Play out Wave. And now we're gonna do the whole trick. No more clock for you. If they do have Naturalize, they have to Naturalize the Opalescence, which gives me a healthy amount of time. Cabal Therapy. I think they do know about this confinement in my hand. I honestly don't remember. Savos Web. I guess they did not know about it. Just pass the turn, take a counter from the Wave, draw a Redundant Sanctum. Not super into it. Get in there for 4. I mean, I could just play out this confinement to percent lethal next turn, but that is a 2-for-1 because it's going to cost me the Serra Sanctum. We don't draw a card. And then my opponent has a Opalescence, and I just lose. Doesn't seem like the best line. So I'm just going to Wave itself to reset the 1 counter. Yeah, that one I like. So let's start by attacking. Now we play a Presence. Is it good enough now to play the Confinement? I guess I can just let it go. I kind of just want a cantrip here. That's not bad. Yeah, it's not bad at all, but yeah, I guess let's do that. So now it's kind of awkward, like we have to like Opal Wave my own Sterling Grove. And then I can, with Parallax Wave, which is very cute. So the good thing, I guess, is that I can exile the Confinement so that I do get a draw step. Is that right? Yes. Yes, it is right. And I think I'm interested in doing that. Mox Diamond resolves. No lands to pitch. Okay. You've got a Terravore, my friend. Cabal Therapy themselves because they can't even solitaire. Because of the confinement, they can't therapy me. That's hilarious. So this is just a concession on my opponent's side, I guess. They just Ray of Revelation. That's totally fine. They can just Ray there, and I just... Yeah, my opponent's deck seemed a little bit... Like, it looked very cool, but it seemed a little bit shy on white sources. Like, all I saw was the Mox Diamonds and some City of Brass. I would like to see more of how they built the deck, but it was a very interesting concept with, like, Terravore and Cartographer. Very, very cool. All right, see you for the next round. Second round, this looks pretty good. Let's keep this one. Turn to Enchantress. Gemstone Mine. Wayfarer. That's a nice draw. We definitely gotta kill this guy. Definitely have to kill that one. Also, my opponent had their first land. I mean, this is why I'm so skeptical about the Terra Oath deck. The TerraGeddon deck, sorry. This has happened more than once to me. And every time this happens, it's an absolute disaster. So what happened here is my opponent led turn 1 on a Gemstone Mine on the hopes of enabling Wayfarer. And then I dealt with the Wayfarer, and now they have a land that is going to, after 2 more uses, just going to destroy itself. So, not super great. I mean, sure, it's an Armageddon deck, though, right? So there's still that going on, but in fact, since this is another Geddon deck that I'm playing against, I think this turn, instead of playing Enchantress's Presence, I'm just gonna get a Hay Blow. Okay, they just named Presence, so this works out great, but I was already thinking about casting Seal of Cleansing here anyway, just so that I could blow up the Mox Diamond. Yeah, a little bit of a number with the drawing that, but it's fine. Okay, that's very good for them. That's very, very good for them. So now we're gonna have to be, we're gonna have to be pretty careful about how we sequence this. That is not awesome. So I think I want to force my opponent to blow up their own land, so I'm not gonna play out the Serra Sanctum. Of course, my opponent can just blow it up themselves if they want to, but I'm just going to get one big shot with the Serra's, with the Sanctum, because the problem is my opponent can just, this way I'm forcing them to like waste their Gemstone Mine. Otherwise, they just get a free activation, they can get Wasteland, blow up my Serra Sanctum. It kind of snowballs very poorly for me from there. Oh, that's classic. Keep on chugging along, I guess. Here's Exploration. Another grove is very nice. So having found the other grove, I think we're just going to chill here. Once again, we're keeping this Wayfarer in check. Opponent's just gonna waste their Gemstone Mine. They can go get Port now, which is a little bit annoying. So now they can start doing Port stuff. But I can just, I guess, Serra Sanctum and Opalescence. I kind of want to have the second Sterling Grove in play first. So this gives me 4 mana, so I can go Sanctum into Mobilization. Grove into Mobilization, I mean. I think that's fine. Or I guess we can just go for Opal now. Now they can't attack anymore. Pivot. New game plan. So now they can Wayfarer for Wasteland, but if they do that, which they kind of have to, then they can't Port, because they need the white to activate Wayfarer, which allows me to like keep going next turn, casting Mobilization and do that thing. Yeah, they just pack it in. Okay, so this matchup, we definitely want Swords to Plowshares. I think we want, we definitely want Saddle's Web. I think we want Sacred Ground. Yeah, I like Karmic Justice. All the other stuff is fine. So I don't think I want Confinement. My opponent's going to be playing like a little bit of a slower, grindy kind of matchup. Seal of Cleansing seems fine. Don't think I want Auras. Ray of Revelation is intriguing. Can cut a couple of Elephant Grasses. Like, I'm not super scared of their aggressive game plan. What I'm scared of is the card Cataclysm. Oh, Cataclysm is bugged with Sacred Ground. Oh, that sucks. Obviously pretty bad for us. I guess I want the Ray. I mean, I feel like I would play the 4th Seal before the first Ray. Has the potential of getting rid of 2 libraries, which is kind of a pretty big deal, but... Now, this is a matchup where we cut Wild Growths, because they just get owned by so much stuff. So yeah, let's bring in Seal of Cleansing and the second Elephant Grass. Now let's go with this. This hand looks pretty good. Pretty good hand. We have the Karmic Justice, got the Guile on 1. Opponent move to 5. Ugh. Turn 1 Guile, aka the Nut Draw. I think I want to put Karmic Justice into play before Enchantress's Presence. Don't Ray me, bro. Naturalize, okay. Still pretty bad. White Source? No. Ugh. Big yikes. Super big yikes. Meddling Mage. They should name Presence, because if I had an Enchantress, I would have played it. So they know I don't have Argothian. They name Argothian. Yeah, that's just a mistake. And immediately rewarded for their mistake. Okay. I don't think I can play out the Serra Sanctum. Like, it's too much of a liability in the face of a potential Wasteland. That's a big Terra Boy. Actually, it's not. It's just a 2/2. White Source? I'm gonna play it now, because if my opponent had a White Source, they would have played it. Wasteland, they would have played it already, I think. Actually, that's not true. Yeah, that's wrong. Another Meddling Mage. Notably, Mirror's Guile would have not been able to save us from this lack of white mana. I guess it would have, just because of being an enchantment. So I could cast this Swords to Plowshares. White Source. At this point, it's just too late. Wow, that's crazy. I think this looks fine-ish. Still don't think I want a Confinement. Maybe I do and I'm just being silly. Perfect. Mulligan. Also perfect. I'm gonna go to 5. Well, my opponent won on 5 the previous game, so now it's our time to win on 5, I guess. Do I just keep this and hope? Nah, I have to mull. Opponent kept 7, so... Right. This is great. Okay, keep this one. Bottom Presence, bottom Sanctum, and hope for... Oh, I have to bottom 3 cards. Oh yeah, this is a disaster. I don't think I can realistically win this game. I'm keeping the Swords because I need to be able to kill the Meddling Mage naming Enchantress if my opponent plays it on turn 1. Perfect. Didn't have a single basic in this hand, so this wouldn't have changed anything. So now I need to draw a mana producing land just to get off the ground. Oof. Another Mox. Terra Boy. Dead. Give me a mana. Yes. Alright, let's cook. I mean, I still need to start drawing 1-drop enchantments, so we're nowhere close to out of the woods here. Wasteland is devastating. Okay, so we have no mana anymore. An opponent's got a Wayfarer. White mana. Yeah, okay. Yeah, we're definitely plowing this. No cards and only 2 lands. With my opponent having double port. We're not in great shape here, but okay. I mean, we can keep going. If their last card is Armageddon, or if they ever find an Armageddon, we're going to not be in good shape anymore, though. They're playing lands, so I guess no Armageddon in my future. My opponent's playing libraries in their deck, so they should not just fetch for no reason. Sphere. Sphere plus liberal port. That's something. Well, start drawing some lands. Nope, still no land. So now my opponent can actually start attacking here. Would be great to draw some lands. Yeah, this looks like it's going to be a non-game. My opponent's clock is not the fastest, so at least we have that going on. But now they actually have attack with treetop plus triple port online, so I don't think we're winning this. I guess I can still draw land. If I draw maybe 4 basics in a row, that's 1. Oh, I have 6. So now they can just wasteland my foothills there. Yeah, that was just it. I was F6. I mean, I wasn't F6. I was just like auto yielding to this. But okay, maybe we can draw some more lands from where that came from. But now they need to be exactly basics, because now my opponent can just... Okay, that's 1. So they're going to be able to tap all 3 lands here. So I can still draw land. No, it still doesn't save me from the treetop. Yeah, I think we're too late now. Well, I mean, now we are definitely too late, so I'm just going to pack it in. But yeah, I mean, this was just like a mull to 4, where our mana just didn't cooperate at all. But yeah, the game was... I feel like that this game was much closer than I was expecting. I was kind of not that far away from turning it around. I just needed to find a couple of lands in a row and then probably be back on it, but yeah. Anyway, see you for the next round. Round number 3. I guess I keep this hand. Obviously, if we're playing against a port deck, we probably scoop it up right now, but any land gives us turn 2 presence into turn 3 wild growth presence. Not bad at all. Point on a mull to 6. Point on wooded foothills into Lava Man. So we're playing against Burn. I understand this is a good matchup for us. That was a good draw as well. So we have to assemble. As soon as we find a white source and a solitary confinement, this game should be over. So my opponent needs to race and get there very quickly. We don't have anything really going on here though, so at least they have time. Fanatic. That's funny. No second land. Let's see if I find it here. Hey. I mean, it's kind of awkward, but I think that I'm just going to pass the turn because I feel like white sources are going to be important here. Again, I need to get confinement into play. Take 3. No ball lightning is big game, because ball lightning would have been a lot of damage there. So let's fetch now. Take 2. Opalescence. So let's start with presence. Draw a card. Second presence, not great. Let's draw 2 here of exploration. Ay. Will I have enough time? I may not have enough time. So I'm going to be taking 3 down to 10, 2 from Vortex, 2 more from Fanatic. I think I'm just dead. Unless my opponent's hand is just nothing, literal nothing. I should be dead here. 9, 7, second Vortex. I guess, do they have the Fire Blast is the question now. All right, Sterling Grove, find some lands, please. Okay, that's 1. Need a white source though. It's not a white source. So I guess I crack Grove now to get confinement, and I need to draw the confinement and find a white source off the top. If I do that, I win. If I don't do that, I lose. But that's literally my only line. So let's do it. Guile, draw confinement, and white source? No! Alright, so now we are just dead souls. So we get to double chomp, but then Lavamancer plus Vortexes kill us. And that's that. Man, once again dying to our mana. Pretty brutal. Next game, Enlightened Tutor, yes. Another confinement, yes. Elephant Grass seems reasonable. So does Swords to Plowshares. Guess we don't need Karmic Justice. Do we want Cleansings? Chris actually has a Cyber Guide, which I totally forgot about. So -1 Karmic Justice, -2 Seal, and we bring those 3 things. That makes sense. Do we need mobilization though? Do we need replenish too? I don't know. This seems really weird to me. Why would we want to keep replenish? Specifically anarchy, I guess? But then mobilization sucks too. It's much better to just win off of Opal Wave. I don't know. What do I know? I mean, I guess I keep this and we just hope that this works out. We need to find any land that's not Serra's Sanctum. These Sanctums had been very, very unkind to me. Oh, why do you do this to me? Okay, but we can do something weird here. Okay, so we can go ahead and play Elephant Grass, then play our Sanctum, and then my opponent is not gonna be able to attack. Next turn, we use Sanctum to pay for for the Elephant Grass, and then we play out the Argolthian Enchantress. That's so sad. That is so freaking sad. Yeah, if this is the best my opponent can do this turn, this seems great to me. Pretty happy to plow that there. So we're definitely gonna pay for this Sanctum here. Ugh, that's so bad. It's really funny to me because like this mana is not bad, but somehow this is just not working out at all. I think I have to pay for this Elephant Grass here, just so I can Source to Plowshare something else next turn. Because as soon as this Elephant Grass dies, then the Serra's Sanctum doesn't tap for mana anymore anyways. So, pay on upkeep. Oh man, that's rough. Miss land drop too. But at least my opponent cannot play a Bolt Lightning, so that part is kind of nice. Now this coming turn we're gonna get to Mirror's Guile, so if we're not gonna find a land, finding Mirror's Guile there is probably the best alternative, right? Okay, cool. We're good, we're going somewhere here. We are going somewhere. And the best thing my opponent can do is Incinerate my face. That seems acceptable. We may be able to get out of this mess. Lavamancer and Seal of Fire. Yeah, these are not good turns for my opponent. So I guess we draw the Grass. I can play the Presence first. So let's fetch. Yeah, let's just play the Presence here and just draw a gazillion cards. Because I still do need to find what I'm missing, right? I still need to find the Confinement. I play the Wild Growth there instead of Elephant Grass because I don't think this 1 mana from this 1 damage from Lavamancer is gonna make the difference. So I'm at a virtual 10 with the Seal of Fire. So I kind of need to play Confinement this turn. I think I chump block here just to save the 1 point of damage. Like I'm not short on cards, and my opponent could potentially go land into put me in a bad spot. So that seems worth a chump there. Like my life total is the only thing that matters here. Like I'm not short. Yeah, I'm not short on card draw effects. So let's think this turn through. So we play Sterling Grove. I guess we're going to draw all of these cards anyway, but as is, Sanctum taps for 3 mana. So we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. These are basically free because they can help, like that means that Sanctum taps for more. But I do need one of these in hand, so I can't just play out both of them. What I'm trying to think is whether I can afford to draw another Argolthian Enchantress or another Presence. So play out Elephant Grass. This Sanctum taps for 4, so 4, 5, play Sterling Grove. Then sack Sterling Grove, go get Confinement. So I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana total to do everything that I want to do. So I do have enough mana. I think I lead on Sterling Grove here. Then crack the Grove for Confinement. Cast the Grass. Draw Confinement. Cast Confinement. And then I guess we cast another Guile for good measure. And there's no Fire Blast shenanigans that can happen here. So the only card I need to watch out for is Anarchy. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else. Yeah, they just pack it in. Cool. Yeah, I think I don't like second replenish. I think I'd rather have Enlightened Tutor than the second replenish. I may be wrong on that. We'll see. But Tutor being a very cheap way to find Confinement seems at the least solid. I think we keep this. Taking a healthy amount of damage, but that's a Lavamancer. I think we just pass the turn because we're not going to be able to keep this Elephant Grass up. So I think the idea here is to just get a forest, fetch for a forest, take my 1, and pass the turn. That's pretty interesting. I guess I'm still going for Enchantress. This is bad if my opponent has Bolt Lightning, but I need to get my engine rolling, I think. No land is a huge deal. No land is a very, very big deal here. Okay, I'm feeling pretty good. Oh, never mind. I guess they can just go for Vortex. I think here I'm just going to go Sterling Grove into Grass, and then next turn I can upkeep the Sterling Grove to go get the Confinement. Alternatively, I can just play out the Plains. Yeah, I think I like that better. This gives me much more optionality because now I can plow the Lavamancer if my opponent plays 2 spells here, for example. And then I can otherwise just Swords to Plowshare, say, Bolt Lightning. Awkwardly enough, I'm gonna plow this Mog Fanatic. Now that I know my opponent does not have the Bolt Lightning, this actually deals me 1 point while this Lavamancer doesn't. So this deals me at least 2. If my opponent has double Fire Blast, we lose. Not much to do about that. If they have... I guess I need to choose what I want to play around. They could have Bolt Fire Blast. They could also have Price of Progress, so this Brushland punishes me. So this Brushland could be 2 points of damage if one of my opponent's cards is a Price of Progress, but it actually, with the Footsils, is a 1 point of damage just guaranteed. So it's kind of an awkward situation. Just gotta choose my own adventure here. Opponent's going for it. 2 points of damage. Earthquake for 2. That's a card. So we're going down to 6 now. So this is not a given anymore, but it's pretty likely that I lose. Do think, but now what I was saying earlier doesn't really matter. So let's go for Foothills. So upkeep, Sterling Grove for Confinement, draw Confinement, play my fetch land, fetch, cast the Confinement, and now we're going to, I guess, discard the Brushland on upkeep, and then we go Enchantress into Grass. Upkeep, pitch a land. So Presence guarantees, because my opponent could have another Earthquake, which would be a little bit of a disaster. Yeah, but I think I have to risk it. Risk it for the biscuit. Brushland. Okay, so that's what I'm pitching to Confinement, and then we're gonna have to hope that we find an enchantment off of this Presence, and if we do, we win, and if we don't, we lose. Not pay for Grass, discard Brushland, give me an enchantment, baby. Another Presence. Oh, I'm locked. Never mind. I was locked. I guess I didn't actually think this through. Whoops. So now I have to be dead, right? I keep forgetting that we don't. Yeah, I guess I'm gonna let this go. And we play this Presence, and we hope that my opponent doesn't have a bunch of instants, but yeah, we just die here. Where did this go wrong? I guess I didn't, that's when it went wrong. I didn't have to source to, if I hadn't sourced to Plowshares the Mog Fanatic, we would have survived at 1. But obviously I was playing around Fire Blast and stuff, right? So the fact that my opponent didn't have it, and oh, okay, never mind. Yeah, it was the Earthquake. I was counting on the Enchantress to be alive, because I'm like, I was thinking like, this was under control. What happened? Where did it go wrong? It was the Earthquake, I guess, because I wasn't accounting for the Enchantress to die, which forced me into playing Confinement without an engine in place. Yeah, so that was it. But yeah, I mean, I could have still not, if I hadn't, now in retrospect, if I hadn't plowed the Mog Fanatic, I would have survived at 1, but obviously I was playing around Bolt into Fire Blast, which my opponent apparently didn't have, so yeah, I don't know. It was very close. It was very, very close. All right, see you for the next one. All right, round number 4, I think. This hand is a little bit on the sketchy side of things. Mirror's Guile is tempting. I can go turn 1 Guile. The issue that I have with this hand is I don't have the land, nor I have the Enchantress effect, and Mirror's Guile can only give me 1 of the 2. So I think I'm gonna mulligan. Maybe that's supposed to be a keep. Obviously, now I go to 5 here. 4, I guess that is. Maybe I should have kept the 7. I honestly don't know. Seems a little bit sketchy. This seems fine, so we're gonna keep this. Bottom, Opalescence, Sterling Grove, and the Swords to Plowshares. I guess I'm far behind enough here that I'm going to Mirror's Guile on turn 1. And they go from there. Opponent I mulligan to 6. So we basically ended up with the same hand that I mulligan 7 for. But yeah, I guess this is what we're up to here. Basic Swamp. I imagine we're well positioned against Basic Swamp. All of these are terrible for us, but okay. So since we're playing against Basic Swamp specifically, I think that I want to play around discard spells. So I'm gonna play out the Wild Growth there. Let's see what we're up against. Black Knight. Okay, some sort of mono black aggro. That's a shuffle effect. Yeah, I mean, mobilization isn't really doing anything here anyway, so might as well draw the shuffle. Send the turn back. At least we're doing pretty well on mana, so that part is cool. I could actually see us getting out of this. Dark Ritual into Hatred, that would be hot. Funeral Charm to make me discard. That's annoying. That is quite annoying. So now we don't have any white mana. Okay, I guess now we do. Play my planes, pass the turn. If this is my opponent's entire clock, we may be able to race this back. This all starts with an Enchantress though. Without it, we're not looking great. 4 mana for Nevdisk. That's a card. Whew. Okay, that's pretty problematic. There's a presence. I mean, I'm gonna force the Nevdisk activation. At least it stops my opponent's clock in the process. Funeral Charm to deal me 2 more damage. That's cool. Opponent should just pop the Nevdisk right now. I honestly don't understand what deck my opponent is playing. Are they playing Pitrack? But Pitrack with Nevdisk seems so weird to me. I mean, no clock. I guess pass the turn. We know we're drawing a Brushland. I was gonna say maybe we hold it because of another Funeral Charm, but now obviously we just play it out. So at this point, I guess we're not racing this guy. Another Nevdisk. That one plays, I guess. So no clock for me, no clock for my opponent. Thawing Glaciers? Oh my god, what deck is my opponent playing? Definitely holding on to this one, because I can do an Enchantress effect and then pop off. If my opponent has a discard spell, that sucks, but I mean, I still think it's correct to play the Wild Growth. Nantuko Shade. That's gonna kill me. This coming turn, actually. Yeah, Guile don't think it's gonna be fast enough. That's enough. Okay. Game number 2. Elephant Grass seems pretty strong against my opponent. I think that's about it. I don't think I care about anything else, really. Can cut a Source to Plowshares. I guess we probably need Seal of Cleansing because my opponent's gonna have Dystopia. Karmic Justice seems fine. I don't think I want Aura. Actually, Aura may be good. Yeah, okay, I'm kind of into Aura. I'm gonna cut down on Seals. Aura making Nevdisk 6 mana seems pretty good to me. Just gonna cut this Source to Plowshares there. Not great in the face of White Knights. Hopefully we don't mull to 4 here. Man, Nevdisk is a hell of a card. Pretty perplexed by it in the mono black aggressive deck, but yeah, I guess we keep this. I kind of don't want to mulligan at all. Sterling Globe allows me to find a presence. We may get Duress. No Duress. Handstep make me discard. You got it. My best draw would be an Enchantress effect. Nantuko Shade I'm not super scared of. Actually, I don't care about this card whatsoever. That is a fantastic draw. I'm a little bit sad that I am playing out the Elephant Grass here because I don't think it really does anything. I may be cracking Sterling Grove on my upkeep to go find the presence. We haven't seen Wasteland quite yet, but I'm kind of expecting my opponent to have some amount of them. This is a great hand against Cabal Therapy. I'll tell you that much. Great hand against Cabal Therapy. Am I paying for this upkeep? I think I am. It's basically another time walk. I'm only doing this because my opponent did not use their mana whatsoever. Oof. Oh man. I guess they didn't have Engineered Plague last turn, so I'm gonna do this now. I get destroyed by Engineered Plague here now. I really want to dodge it. Opponent's got nothing. Now we are gonna crack Sterling Grove and go get Enchantress's Presence. We're not gonna pay for this upkeep. If my opponent wants to spend the next turn attacking, I'm totally okay with that. Draw 2. Yikes. Good old Whiffsky. That's a good old Whiffsky. Big yike. I guess I don't think I'm gonna crack this fetch. Fetching to thin is pretty negligible, and if I find Mirror's Guile... I guess if I find Mirror's Guile, it also doesn't matter. So the only reason to not fetch would be if I cared about my life total, which I don't think I do. So I'm actually going to fetch here. But at this point, because we are drawing so many cards, like Mirror's Guile actually doesn't do anything. Like if I find a Mirror's Guile, I'm gonna draw all of the cards onto my deck anyway. So there's no real reason. Oh my god. Am I just drawing all of my lands? Okay, now we are... Yeah, now we're completely out of control here. So I'm gonna play Aura before playing the Presence. Now we have our Replenish. Yeah, now we're just cooking. Wild Growth on any of the lands. And now this is just game now. I'm gonna attack with Enchantress for good measure, just for value. So gonna send down the lands. Don't really care about them. This point, we don't even care about Nevdisk because we have it covered with the Aura. Opponent therapies, but like whatever they take, we just don't care. Okay, they got 2 presences. Unless they play exactly Engineered Plague here, I don't think I even replenish. I'm gonna pay for one of these Elephant Grasses. They just flashback, take a replenish. Yeah, that's fine. So now we're in a spot where we just have to find a win condition. Either Opal Wave or Haunting Echoes. Okay, was not expecting that. I don't think it really matters because my win conditions are still in the deck. I have 1 presence in play, so I think we're still kind of fine. I don't understand. If my opponent had Echoes, I don't understand taking the Replenish. They should have taken the Opal Wave because it kills them so much quickly. I'm gonna pay for one of these Elephant Grasses. Man, we're not doing well in terms of finding actual cards, but there's the Sanctum, so we're fine here. There's Confinement, play Exploration, there's a Guile, Karmic Justice. Let's play this. Just gotta find Opalescence now. There we go. So the challenge now is to not get decked, and I think we should be fine. So swing for a bunch. I guess Mobilization is one of the bottom cards in my deck, huh? In that. Trying to think what my opponent could have here. Pettish doesn't do it. I can just exile my enchantments. Engineered Plague doesn't do it. I don't think there's anything that does it here. 6 mana is a lot. Corrupt. Going to exile my Elephant Grass just to reset it. And then I'm going to exile the wave itself. Corrupt Fizzles. Okay, so my opponent's actually playing some form of mono black control. They're not playing aggro. So that fades. Pay for upkeep. Pay for upkeep. Go to combat. Swing with everything. Opponent packs it in. Okay, cool. On to game 3. Now we know my opponent's actually mono black control. We have not seen Coffers. Am I interested in Ray of Revelation? I don't think so. I think I'd rather have Cleansing and Aura before Ray. I'm less excited about Swords to Plowshares knowing my opponent's on control. I guess Confinement is better. Confinement protects me from discard spells as well. Maybe another Seal instead of Confinement. I may be wrong about that, but we'll see. Hey, not a mulligan. Not the most exciting hand. Would love to have access to a Wild Growth effect, but Duress. My opponent's best start. They take Seal of Cleansing. That's well, there we go. Sometimes I'm just very good at Magic. Don't have the discard for Enchantress. Damn it. They take Justice? They have to have another one. Okay, yeah. Yeah, there's no way you take Justice over Presence there. So my best draw here is probably another Enchantress's Presence. Yeah, I'll take that one too. But this one can actually get killed by Plague, while Presence just sits on the battlefield. Diabolic Edict can also get rid of this one. Yep, there's the Edict. Replenish would be sick. Replenish is probably my best draw here. Yeah, okay. I'll take that one. So now we can go. Also, notably, my opponent missed a land drop last turn. Now we can go get Presence. That's not a land drop in the when it's your third one. So now we're just gonna go get a Presence. Funeral Charm, my last card. You got it. I'm still gonna go get a Presence, so I can potentially get the engine cooking. If my opponent has another Funeral Charm and they can charm me on my upkeep, that's a disaster, but okay, my opponent has been finding some lands. Good for them. Okay, that's just a card that I can cast more than anything else. That one's actually a very good one. Almost F6'd through my plane of. So we're looking pretty good here. I think I'm interested in going to get Presence number 2. So let's go for that. Untap. I don't think I'm paying for upkeep. Play a second Presence. See will we find a land. It's not great. Now my opponent's got Arena going, which is pretty scary, but looks like nothing. So now if we find any enchantment, we are probably just going to win. Literally any enchantment at all. We don't want to see Nevdisk. Replenish would be sick. Replenish would be absolutely ridiculous here. There's Disc. So now that I know my opponent has Disc, I think it's better for me not to shuffle, because I could find Mirror's Guile, and Guile would actually be pretty good here. That's a fantastic draw though. Now we're gonna start popping off. So I guess I can blow this up, huh? So we play Sanctum, tap for 4 mana. So we have to tap 4 mana first, then we pop Sterling Grove to go find Seal of Cleansing. Then we play Parallax Wave, and then we Seal of Cleansing the Nevdisk. And now we have the Replenish. Okay, now we're done here. Fetch for Guile, and we are cooking. Black Knight, you got it. Black Knight resolves. You're making me discard? That's so mean. Yeah, let's discard this Enchantress, which I'm not casting. Maybe it should have been the Guile. Doesn't matter. I think we're officially in garbage time. Actually, it should have been the Aura and Sterling Grove so that I can replenish them back. No Opalescence, unfortunately. So let's draw Wild Growth, draw some cards here. I guess we just go get Opalescence. No, opponent packs it in. All right, cool. That worked out well. Yeah, my opponent got a little bit screwed over there by their mana base, but you know, it's kind of what it is. I think that this mono black decks should be playing like 26 or 27 lands. Like, I think that you really need to hit your land drops, otherwise your deck kind of doesn't function. So yeah, all right, see you next round. Okay, now this is a very interesting hand. I like that it has interaction, it has mana. I think I'm gonna keep this hand, but I may be punished. I feel like this would be much better if either one of these lands were a fetch. But we'll see, maybe this hand is just sick. Playing against Wooded Foothills. Let's see what the legendary Mike Arnold is up to over there. Elves. Never mind, I'm a genius. Definitely want a Guile on 1 as opposed to Plow, I think. I guess definitely is a strong word. Look at that Quirion Ranger value. Take 1. Well, I think I'm now plowing this thing because he missed on playing something else. That's really hot. That is so hot. Yeah. So let's go Mobilization, Presence, Exploration. That way we draw the Exploration. Get to play 2 lands this turn. And then we are plowing... What's better? Is it better to plow the Quirion Ranger or the Birchlore Rangers? I guess if they don't find a land drop, it's better to plow the Quirion Ranger, but otherwise it's better to plow the... I think I'm going to plow the Quirion. And this is because he failed to play another 1-drop last turn, which probably means that they don't have one. Sure, his deck is mostly 1-drops and lands, but still got there. Elephant Grass and Presence. So let's just draw the Presence here, and then we can start doing some work next turn. We obviously got pretty lucky here. I mean, it's more so than he got unlucky, but still. Yeah, this looks very good for us. So play my land, play second Presence. He's insanely far behind. Now he can't even attack, which is hilarious. Draw another land. Draw literally the best land. No big deal. Yeah, we're done here. We're just popping off out of control. Out of control. I don't think he has draws that get him out of this. He did find a Cradle, and the best thing he can do is to attack for 1. Yeah, I think we're cooking. I guess it's free to pay for this Elephant Grass, so I'll just pay. Let's see what we're guiling. Sterling Grove. Okay, so play Guile, play land number 1, play Sterling Grove. It's another Enchantress. I think we're Gucci. I may be making some mistakes here in my sequencing. I think we're way past the point of it mattering. 1/1 Vigilance, baby. I want to use 1 mana. Yeah, sure. I'll just go get Opal Wave. Just get the game done. Just bin some lands. Next turn I'm going to have Infinity Mana. Yeah, it just packs it in. Okay, game 2 against Elves. Not actually super clear about what to do. I probably need to watch out for their best card, which I imagine is Tanglewire. So maybe Seal of Cleansing number 4 makes an appearance. Confinement can also potentially be a problem if my opponent has access to Tranquil Domain. But that seems about it. Yeah, I actually don't think... I think this is just fine. Maybe I can cut down on Elephant Grasses, since they don't have big creatures, and they have so much mana. Is that better than Swords to Plowshares? Yeah, I think I just submit... Do I just submit the same 60? I think so. I think I'm gonna go with this. It may be wrong, but I honestly don't think that any of the cards in my sideboard are necessarily better than the ones in my main deck. This is a nice hand. Very nice hand. We are going to keep it. Exploration into Kill Your Elf seems kind of insane. Not gonna lie. Pew! Not draw achieved. Can I find the green source off the top? Can we make it the super? Oh, he's playing the Armageddon version. Oh my god. Okay, I'm scared now. I guess I'm gonna lead on... Yeah, I'm gonna lead on Enchantress because he can't kill that one. It's worse because if my opponent doesn't have it, then next turn I get to Presence. I get 1 extra mana for Presence. But I mean, here we're probably just dead if he has the Geddon. I could have held on to the Sanctum, but I don't think that's what I want to do. Oof. Well, he's got mana. Can confirm as much. Well, now we are actually going to... Okay, so I guess Sacred Ground is actually good. Now we know. I'm kind of desperate to find a land here, so that's why I'm just playing out the Presence. Pass the turn. He does pay for upkeep, so that's either very good or very bad for me. Oh, wow, am I getting so good in the Elves deck? Naturalize the Presence. Can beat that. No Geddon. Take 3. Okay. So now I can make 1, 2, play Enchantress. Feel like I want to play Presence. Confinement. I can cast this, actually. Yeah, I think I don't play around Geddon anymore. Oh, he has another Naturalize? That sucks. Let's tap for some mana there. So I guess that being the case, how much are we taking? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're taking 9 damage. Do I have time? Yeah, I mean, I can't just drop a Confinement here. I need another piece of the engine, so just gonna go with this. So if we dodge Armageddon this turn, we may be in okay shape. We have to find Geddon. We have to dodge Geddon, I miss. Oh, but my opponent's hand is 2 basic forests. So we're actually fine. Unless they top deck exactly Armageddon right now. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Down to 3. That's fine. Draw 2. Can we find Karmic Justice? That would be sick. Wave is not bad either. Yeah, let's just... Confinement. And I guess I'm gonna fetch. Down to 2. There's the Karmic. There's the Justice. Oh, I guess we can just go to 1. Oh, we're actually... That was the second land drop. Never mind. Pass the turn. Only one unknown card. Morph. So that's Nantuko. Oh, they top deck Sligh. I guess good for the Masticore thing. Untap. Pitch that. 1, 2, 3 mana to play another Presence. Another Enchantress. I think we're good here. Sanctum taps for 5 mana. Just play another one for good measure. Let's draw some cards. There's the Plains. So I guess now we do get to force the issue on the Vigilante by playing the second Grove. So let's do that. So now that forces the issue on the Vigilante. They don't. Okay. I guess we just plow it now. Oh, what's the Birch Lore? I guess I got. So let's pitch these cards that don't do anything. So at this point, Armageddon doesn't even do anything anymore. We're just past the point of no return. Opponent can start drawing some cards, but it's not going to matter. I guess on end step I can get rid of the Symbiote here. Oh, I can deck my opponent next turn. That's cute. Let's untap. We're gonna have to do some gymnastics here. Pitch Wild Growth. Then we're going to go Karmic Justice first. Draw some cards. Opalescence. And now is the action time. So let's crack 1 Sterling Grove. Go get Mobilization, whatever. Doesn't matter. Now what we do is we exile Sterling Grove. And we have the replenish, so even if my opponent does have Tranquil Domain right here, it doesn't matter. Or like Naturalize or whatever. Oh, they do have the Naturalize. Yeah, that resolves. So now that happened. Now we know they have no cards in hand. And now we're just going to Opal Wave their entire board and then start getting in there. Oh, I see what my opponent's doing. Yeah, that's fine. They're trying to do some stuff on some things. That's fine. That dies. So I'm going to reset Opal Wave. This is going to allow my opponent to untap Priest once again because they're going to have access to their Symbiote. My opponent can start blowing up stuff, but I don't care because we just replenish everything back. So Wave gets reset, and now we're going to go after the creatures one by one. I guess after I go after the Masticore, that should be good. Go after that, exile itself. Opponent does do some priest things, but it's not going to be enough. Yeah, so my opponent's doing some pinging, but that's not going to amount up to anything. It's really hard to stop Opal Wave once it gets going. Yeah. I guess I might as well take some of these dudes with me. Made a mistake there. Forgot to press control. I did mess this up. They can save one of their guys, like it just doesn't matter. This is just garbage time. The game is done. Mike just sees it. And yeah, at this point the game is just deterministically over. I get to exile all of my opponent's creatures. Armageddon doesn't do anything anymore because of Karmic Justice. My board state is enough to kill them in a couple of turns. I don't get decked because I have 16 cards in the deck, and I could replenish this back if I wanted to, but it's not even necessary. So yeah, at this point the game is just cooked up. All right, let's go for the last round. Let's see what we got here. Oh yeah, this looks juicy. We're on the play. Turn 1 Wild Growth. Turn 2 Enchantress. If we find the green source, we get to draw a card immediately. It's pretty nice. Obviously, starting with the old framed Wild Growth is just the correct play, Basic Forest into Llanowar Elves. Any land? Yes. So let's go get a Plains. Let's play an Enchantress and let's draw a card. Okay. We're doing stuff. We are cooking. Okay, Queer and Ranger Llanowar Elves, pretty strong. What are you doing with that opponent? Survival. It's a Clutch, Seal of Cleansing, that one. Clutch, Seal of Cleansing. Cool. Do I want to be mana efficient? Or do I want to maximize card draw? I think I want to be mana efficient. So we're going to drop a Presence. And then obviously I don't think I can afford to have my opponent go about doing survival things. So we're just going to do this right now. My opponent can get 1 activation from survival, but that puts them even further behind on mana, so I think I'm totally okay with that. Pitch Masticore, they go for Acolyte. That's good, because that means that they're digging. This means that they're digging and they don't have it, so that's good for me. So next turn we get to go Enchantress into potentially Confinement. We just go Guile instead. Okay, with them having Granger, very, very happy that I was able to deal with the survival in a timely manner. So that could mean Geddon, which would be quite bad news for me. Take 1, because I don't really need to Confinement quite yet. Just focus on drawing some cards. Gonna lead on that. Then Guile, draw 3, no land. Kind of annoying. Sterling Grove. Was hoping to find a land so I could Confinement there, but maybe a little bit too late. And do I want to Sandbag? I feel like the only way that I lose here is through Armageddon. But Mirror Sky can probably allow me to recoup if my opponent Geddons me. So I'm gonna pass. And what I'll do is I'll just crack this Sterling Grove and upkeep. If my opponent doesn't get on me, I'm gonna go get Karmic Justice, so that should just lock up the game. It's discard Confinement. Looks like they do have it. Yep. Sucks, but it's not the end of the world. Our engine is already popping. Next turn we get 3 looks at any land. Any land allows me to just have Wild Growth in play. So this is annoying and very good for my opponent, but it's far from the end for us. Yeah, that's perfect. So put these on top, play a land, fetch, basic forest, Wild Growth, draw 3 again. That's a good one to help requeue quicker. Send the turn back. Let's pitch Guile and guess a Sterling Grove. Naturally, finding Karmic Justice in the top 3 would be pretty nice, because that would make it so I'm protected from another Geddon. Got a lot of dudes, but they don't attack for that much. Take 2. Ding, ding, ding. Okay, now we should be fine. So put all of these on top, then lead on exploration, because I want to draw these cards. Play Sanctum, and let's plow the Symbiote, get rid of that thing. Then we crack the Grove for Karmic Justice. We're going to play another land, cast Sterling Grove, draw the Karmic Justice, and play it out. And now we're going to play out just discard a bunch of enchantments to set up. My opponent doesn't have haste, so without any haste, there's nothing that I should be worried about. I drew Survival. I'm not sure what Survival can really do here. Wire with Symbiote? That's not enough. Take 4 down to 9. You got me. Let's put a stop in my upkeep, and let's see if I find Opal Wave here. Okay, so there's Wave. So let's draw Wave. Let's make 6 mana, pitch this, go get Opalescence, play Wave. An opponent packs it. Okay, cool. So this is pretty much the exact same matchup that we played before. Do I want Sacred Ground? I feel like I do. And I don't really want Source to Plowshares. I'm a little bit interested in Source to Plowshares because I'm on the draw. But besides that, I think I'd rather have Seal of Cleansing than Source to Plowshares. Kind of don't really care for Elephant Grass. I think I'd rather have Source than Grass. I think this seems fine to me. Like, I maybe overvalue in Armageddon a little bit too much, but honestly, it seems like the main way that I lose. So I feel like respecting it makes sense. Wow, this is a very interesting draw. So I think we keep it. And I think that we go turn 1 Wild Growth and we don't play the Exploration. I could do both, but I think we go for Wild Growth and we save the Exploration to draw a card of Enchantress's Presence. I do really like the fact that we have access to the Seal of Cleansing now. Seems like a pretty good draw. Yep, there's the Survival. Yeah, they missed the land drop. I don't think I can afford to have them use Survival. Next turn we're gonna go Sanctum into Presence. Priest. Don't care about that one quite yet. So let's go Presence into Exploration into Elephant Grass. Okay, this is not half bad. Opponent has a lot of green mana, but no white mana. Visual Rager seems like a necessity if you're gonna be splashing for Armageddon. Very threatened by that Plains. We're gonna have to wave this turn. Oh, they naturalize, okay. I think we're gonna have to wave this turn. Free to pay for this, so I guess we do. Nice pickup. So this is 3 mana that this Sanctum is making, so we have exactly enough to go Enchantress into Wave. Very nice. I think I just take those 2. Oh, and actually I need to take all 3 because I'm afraid of Geddon here. So send the turn back. This Acolyte's gonna die now. Priest. So now we're not paying for this Elephant Grass, are we? No, we're not. Having these replenish, I think what we do is we wave the Priest. Let's start by drawing a card. We can wave the Priest, this tutor for Opalescence, yeah, and then we just replenish. So this line, I guess, loses to Tormod's Crypt. 3 mana to play a Morph. You got it. So discard this, play a Gate Opalescence, untap, upkeep, this fades. Draw the Opalescence, fetch 4 planes, make some mana, replenish, exile Sterling Grove, and now 1, 2. Perfect! We got there. So 4 and 2 in the end. Not bad. And there it goes. 4 and 2 final result feels pretty decent. This deck is deceptively hard to play. Mostly in terms of sequencing. It feels like it needs you to plan ahead multiple turns every single time. And Of course, once your engine is rolling, it just kind of doesn't matter. You just make plays at random and you just draw so many cards that it's irrelevant. But it really showed when I was on the margins, especially in that matchup against Burn. It feels like those games are really about edging basically every small percentage. And I feel like if that match had been played by Chris himself, I feel like he would have won it. But because I am kind of like stumbling into all of these plays, I obviously fell short. But yeah, this deck was super exciting. I feel like there's something special about just drawing a gazillion cards and then kind of winning through odd ways in kind of at your leisure. There's definitely something special about that. And as I said in the beginning, this list looks extremely well tuned. It really feels like every card has a very specific and really good purpose for being there. There's no, or at least there's very, very small amount of fat to trim left. And the deck looked very, very powerful. So I would not be surprised if this deck were to top 8 LobsterCon, which is the big tournament that we're going into in a couple of weeks at the time of publishing this video, maybe a little bit less than that. And yeah, this deck looked very, very strong. I'm a little bit skeptical of the fact that you can never in a gazillion years. I'm a little bit skeptical about the fact that you can never in a gazillion years beat Replenish, so that is a little bit iffy. But past that, I feel like if you manage to dodge it, or if in the Swiss rounds you only played against it once and then you beat every other matchup, you have a pretty decent chance at top 8ing. So that's pretty good. We're going to be looking out for how the deck performs. It was a lot of fun and just yeah, cool stuff. Hopefully you enjoyed this league. But that's going to be it for me today, folks. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to check out Chris's fantastic guide on Enchantress, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care and long live Premodern. Bye bye.